come on in to Married at First Sight, season 16, episode 12. And my name is Deborah, and I'm going to be doing individual recaps on all the individual couples. So be sure to drop down in the comments, like, subscribe, and comment on this video. And at the end of this video, check out above my head. There'll be links to all the individual videos and you can watch them all. Now we're moving on to our next couple, Clint and Gina. And I actually probably should say Clint, Gina, and Hank. Because Hank has dumped Gina for Clint. Hank said, I'm tired of you. All you do is work, 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 work. I don't get to go to no walks, no nothing. Nothing. You probably got a poop pad on the balcony. You probably don't even come take me out in the middle of the day to take me to go use the bathroom. He said, ever since this man, Clint, came into my life, I've had more fun than I've ever had with you. I've gone hiking. I've gone to the waterfalls. I've gone sailing. And he looks like me too. And we both gingers. Please, I'm done with you, Gina. I ain't even sleeping in the bedroom with you. Hank is right over there with Clint. In the bedroom with Clint, in the bed, probably on the floor, wherever he is. And Hank said, if you want to see me, Gina, you're going to have to come over here. Hank said, if you want to see me, Gina, you're going to need to come over here to Clint's room because I ain't even coming in to greet you when you come home no more. I'm done with you. Clint, take me with you. Take me with you. Clint told Gina, I have officially changed Hank's last name. I know he did because Hank probably asked for it. Hank asked to be emancipated from Gina and adopted by Clint. Hank asked for it. Hank don't want to have nothing to do with Gina anymore. Because just like we all know about Gina, he told Gina, are you boring? You are boring, and I'm ready to move on to Clint because he's a lot more fun and he's easier to talk to. But Gina, last week I was calling Gina the queen of the flip. Well, she was still on the same tip this week of flipping everything on Clint. First, she was talking about, Clint keeps talking about he wants to get to the deeper crust, which we knew he did because she was using this phrase about the crust 2 episodes ago. So the fact that he's still talking about I want to get to the crust means he's been asking for a very long time about deeper things for Gina. But when Dr. Pepper shows up and Dr. Pepper starts talking about why aren't you guys talking about deeper things, Gina said, because he didn't ask me. She pulled a Kirsten on him because he didn't ask me. Girl, he been asking you since episode 1. Episode 1, he's been talking about, I want to know the real Gina. But the problem with Gina was she spent so much time with her representative showing up with all these lies, her 26-inch waist. She's fun. She's outgoing. She's athletic. She's a beauty mogul. She's a multi-million-dollar salon owner. Her representative spent so much time in this marriage that we never got to know the real Gina. We finally getting to know Gina, but shoot, it's too late. We already figured out who you are, Gina. I already knew you was from Arkansas, grew up poor with no daddy around, and the reason why you work so hard is because you don't ever want to be poor again. I already figured it out. You really could have saved us all this headache and heartache and just told us from the straight beginning, and then maybe people would have a little bit more empathy and sympathy for you. But now here you are blaming it on Clint that the reason why he don't know the real you is because he didn't ask no questions. Girl, and then you say, well, even if he would have asked questions, I probably wouldn't have told him because I would have needed him to be more specific. Specific? Is he an interrogator? Are you on the stand? Are you an attorney? I got to ask you a specific question. I can't just ask you tell me about yourself. I got to ask you specific questions before you're willing to tell me anything. Like Clint said, this sounds like an interrogation. This ain't how things should be. Conversation should be organic. Gina act like she ain't never been here. You ain't never got the question, tell me about yourself. I have to be specific. Ooh, queen of the flip. I've been saying it last week. She's the queen of the flip. She always come up with an excuse for her not to do something. And I'm sick of it, and so is Hank. Hank is sick of it too. Clint is like, I do tell stories, and I would think that if I tell a story, she'd want to reciprocate and tell a similar story. But no, mom's the word. Exactly. Just like Kirsten does. Shaq tells a story. Kirsten don't have a reciprocating story. Clint's like, I don't understand what the problem is. This is how communication is supposed to work. Like I said, some people think they're good communicators just because they listen, but then they don't talk. That's not good communication. You have to be able to do both. You do have to be able to be a good listener, active listener, but you also need to learn how to talk and also need to learn how to contribute to conversations so that people can play off what you're talking about. All Gina know how to do is talk about work stuff. Just like she said, I know how to talk to the ladies at work. Of course you know how to talk to the ladies at work. You know how to talk to the ladies about work, about color, perms, haircuts, payroll. Oh, Gina. Same thing. Gina got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do as well. But the experts helped them out. They said, okay, well, if you want specific questions, Gina, we'll give you some. We'll do a fishbowl, and I will ask you some specific questions to get the ball rolling. And I guess this is the format that Gina likes the most. Inquisitions. Okay, Gina, we'll roll with your technique. We'll roll with your style. Let's do it. The question is, well, how will you become more vulnerable? Well, when you make me feel comfortable. That's not an answer. That's a generalization. Then how would I make you feel more comfortable? Spit it out, Gina. You can't express yourself. Spit it out. How will I make you more comfortable? What are some things I could do? I can't stand it when people tell you this is the problem, and then when you ask them for feedback and specifics, they don't have none for you. Oh my goodness. Just like I said, Aries is emotionally unintelligent. So is Gina. Gina really is emotionally unintelligent. She may not be as bad as Aries. Of course, there ain't too many people out here as bad as Aries, but she's not emotionally intelligent at all. She don't have no deep level of thinking. She really doesn't. She says she needs a safe space. So Gina says she needs a safe space to open up and be vulnerable. And she says all that honeymoon stuff was triggering to her. Well, then why'd you start it? If you're triggered by unsafe spaces, if you're triggered by people talking about your looks, then why would you go in and talk about somebody's looks? She's a hypocrite. So if you're triggered by people talking about your looks and that creates an safe space for you, and you know how bad you feel when someone creates an unsafe space, why the heck would you open that door and do that to someone else first? Like I told you guys, all these preemptive strikes are to keep people away from these people, right? Because Gina does know talking about your looks is harmful because she just said it. She said, when you talk about my looks or something personal, it doesn't make me feel like a safe space, and then I don't want to open up to you, which means she knows it's harmful. So then if you know it's harmful, why would you do it to someone else? Because what she's telling you is, I'm doing it to someone else because I really want them to do the same thing. I want them to not come in and try to get close to me. You get it? You get it? It's almost as if, let's say you have a ticklish spot. And you say, I'm ticklish right here, right on your side. And someone says, hey, why don't you go over there and tickle that person? You know where you're going to tickle that person right away? You're going to tickle that person right where you're ticklish, because you know it works on you, so you'll try to make it work on the other person. That's what Gina did with Clint. She didn't want to get close to Clint from the very, very beginning. And what she sensed from Clint from the very beginning, that he was an open book. She already knew what she was dealing with from day one when she met Clint. Clint's got a big personality. He's out there. And what she said was, I'm going to have to hold this man off. I'm going to have to put a little bit of distance between me and him, because I can already see he's going to be a little bit too much for me. He's going to want to come and get close real quick, and I need some space. So what I need to do to create that space is use a put down. And that's what she did. She used what works on her. She used it on Clint. And now here we are. Clint is over it. Clint is over it. Because you know what? It really wasn't a real big soft spot on Clint, to be honest with you. So he's already over it. But you know who's not over it? Gina. Because Gina, it was her real wound. It was her real wound. It really was a bad strategy to go after Clint, which was really what her weak point was. Because in the end, what happened is she got more harmed by it. And now she can't recover. She can't recover. She still can't recover from it. So Clint is asking her, so well, I want to know, all your grit. Where's all this grit come from? Where your hopes and dreams come from? So she finally lets up, tells the story of how, she was raised by a single mother. And, she pretty much had to raise herself since 7. Like I told you, she probably grew up poor. Her mom was working to take care of her and her siblings. Her daddy was nowhere around, didn't even know him. So, he wasn't paying no child support. That's how she gets her grit from working so much. I mentioned that last week. I know where it comes from, but it sure would have helped for her to open up her mouth earlier. It really could have helped her in her marriage. People, if you out there dating, get in touch with your own stories. Get in touch with your own stories, where your stuff come from. So when you really get ready to work with somebody, people ain't got to be over here working with you through trial and error, fishing around for trying to understand all your quirks. Let them know. Everybody thinks that if I let you know my history, then that makes me too vulnerable and then you'll take advantage of me. That's not how it happens. Let me tell you something. People who want to take advantage of you, they'll take advantage of you no matter what, whether you reveal things about yourself or not, because that's who those people are. Good people, let me tell you, when you come across a good person, they don't run around saying, oh, now that you revealed something in your vulnerability, I want to take advantage of you. That's not how it works. Bad people take advantage of people no matter what, whether you reveal things about yourself or whether you don't, because that's who those people are. They just like to take advantage of people. I'm going to talk about that over there with Nicole and Chris. So you not opening up and being vulnerable isn't really protecting you or helping you. All it's doing is when the good people do come in your life, you're pushing the good people away. So your walls are not only protecting you from the bad people, they're also protecting you from the good people. And it's not even protecting you from the bad people, because if it was really working, you still wouldn't be here. So your plan ain't even working. Take down your walls before you get into relationships, people. Take down your walls first. So Gina said one of her toxic traits she had since she was 7 was she didn't know how to take care of herself. One of her toxic traits from 7, she doesn't know how to ask for help. She said she was taking care of herself since 7. 7? What's that, 2nd grade? Good Lord, at 7 years old, she was taking care of herself? Oh boy, I'm telling you, this season is a season. Everybody on this show should have come with you know how they talk about premarital counseling before you get married, you're supposed to get premarital counsel? They should have got pre-therapy. Everybody should over here got pre-therapy. If they really want these marriages to work, they should have given these people free therapy as opposed to coming on here and then getting one free session with Dr. Pepper. One free session, we just now seeing Dr. Pepper, and in 24 days they got to say yes or no. Dr. Pepper should have been here on day 1. Dr. Pepper should have been on site at that resort down on the honeymoon. That's where Dr. Pepper should have been. You know, Clint revealed some stuff about him, about his parents, and how his parents, you know, his father worked all the time. He was in construction, and they really worked hard to try to provide the life for them that the parents wanted. But Clint said he missed out on some time with his dad. Like I said, I could see that. I could see that going on because I think Clint's parents were hard workers, kind of what he's saying. And that's how I think that they might have had material things. I don't think he grew up poor, but I think his parents worked really, really hard to have a life for his kids. And Clint said, but that was at the sacrifice of being able to spend time with his dad in terms of during the week. But I guess, you know, they did sailing. He said he's an 8th generation boater, sailor. But Clint says, I got my own thing in this marriage as well. Everybody's bringing in baggage. We all bringing in baggage. But when it comes to Clint and Gina's is definitely heavier, way heavier than Clint's. Clint said, what's your biggest insecurity? She said, because she's a workaholic because of the life she came from, poverty. So she's a workaholic. That's why she can't even imagine Clint being a contributor, because she's never seen one. She doesn't know what it looks like, so she runs from it. She talking about all she knows is being a salon mom and a dog mom. You ain't no dog mom no more. Hank done demoted her to an auntie. You ain't the mom no more. You the auntie, but you ain't the mom no more. He got him a new daddy. Anyway, that's it, y'all. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment on this video, and please check out my other videos. Talk to you later. Bye.